Hey everyone, welcome to this week's Tyson McGuffin show. Happy to have everybody. I know we've kind of been off for a couple months, but good to be back. I want to start off by thanking all of our sponsors, Selkirk Sport, Turn Grip, Voodoo Pain Relief Cream, 1044 Pro, Play Like a Pro, Pickle Play, ASEA, Beamer Therapy, Salt Stick, Vitamin Drip CDA, and Jolt Therapy. Hope everybody's having a good Saturday. Kyle McKenzie, what is going on, my man?
Hey man, just chilling at home, trying to hide in the back room from the kids to keep it as quiet as possible. So,
hide from those kids, man.
Ready to go.
Hide from those kids.
I'm liking that logo behind your head there.
You know what? That's the new and improved podcast logo. Yeah, you know.
So that's what took a couple of months, right? Yeah.
Took a couple of months, I know, you know. But happy to be back. Kyle here will always be my co-host. We'll be chatting every week, and we will be posting every week's podcast every Monday morning. Monday morning, you guys will get your McGuffin show, and we'll be live every week. So super excited about it. Topics for the week. We haven't been on since the end of July, so we're gonna kind of talk about end of the year results. Starting from like Newport, through the PPA year-end championships. Also, just rolled out the Tyson McGuffin signature PB camps. Kyle will also be leading the charge with me. So we'll be talking about camp rollout and other coaching services that we'll be offering. And then also, kind of a fun little hot topic that I'm sure most people are talking about, and I know there's some serious buzz going on social media, is the APP versus the PPA. Fun stuff. Kyle, what have you been doing since August?
Doing a lot of teaching. Finishing up, I had quite a few camps scheduled with the previous camp company that I was teaching for. So enjoying traveling around, meeting new people, and getting everybody's games improved. Done a lot of local teaching, and then just took advantage of the time in quarantine with to drill and play as much as I can. I think that's something that we'll get more into, but I think we saw a lot of people with that break come into these tournaments and add some new weapons. We've seen a lot of people's games look very different, some a lot better, some maybe a little bit rusty, but it's been a pretty eventful few tournaments that we've had over the last few months.
I think that's very true. I think there's a lot of people that definitely made quarantine worthwhile and put in the time. And obviously, if you put in the time, you can definitely see the results. And I think, obviously quarantine, nobody's playing tournaments, great time to work on your game, great time to really invest in learning some new tools, finding some new weapons, taking lessons, things of that nature. Just make sure that you disinfect your balls when you're taking lessons. I know myself, obviously, you and I did a lot of drilling, worked on little select, things in our game that maybe we wouldn't be working on close to tournaments, things like that. But you kind of have this, 4-month window of kind of setting some goals, maybe some short-term and some long-term, but using the off time that you have and using it wisely.
Well, it's a great time for it, because I think what a lot of people don't realize is, with the pro circuit, it's tough to pick that time to really decide to be a different player and to add things or to change the way that you play. When there's always a tournament every couple of weeks, it's really hard to say, I'm gonna work on this, or I'm gonna start doing this more. A lot of times you really have to scrape away the natural tendencies that you have in order to to become a different player or add something in your game. So you really need to have that break. You don't have any really competitive important matches coming up to have the time to really add that. So I think we saw a lot of people take advantage of that for sure.
Yeah, no, for sure. So I guess starting in August, the first tournament of the year was Newport Beach. Newport Beach Tennis Club is a beautiful place. I know that the PPA has a contract with them for the next couple of years to run some events there. I know that we are actually running a camp there after the Newport tournament. check the dates on that. Shame on me.
Hosted by Team McGuffin.
You know what? Hosted by your
McGuffin.
man and Mr. Newman. So camp will be December 7th through the 13th. Both Kyle and I will be teaching that. That'll be right after the Newport tournament. Newport tournament is only men's and mixed. I did not have any say in that, by the way. So all you
singles love
out there, all you singles junkies, if you're mad at me, it's not my fault. Yeah, Newport Beach. Let's see here. But yeah, I know singles wise, I ended up making the winners bracket final. Lost to Ben in a tight one, pulled a hammy, and ended up taking bronze that tournament. But I know Gabriel put up a good little fight. Gabriel's a stud and kind of a new upcoming guy in the game. I know he's a big paddle player. And had some good results in paddle, but also too, yeah, Riley and I had our first little W, kind of cool. Got a win over Mr. Wright, Mr. Johns, and then Callan and DJ had a nice little breakthrough. Yeah. You know what's kind of crazy? They ended up beating Ben and Matt in the winners bracket final. Riley and I were just grinding through the backdraw because we lost in the second round. So we're literally just playing match after match on like the dungeon courts, and they're just making us play and play and play. Next thing I know, we're like 6 matches in the backdraw, and I hear that Matt and Ben lose and like lose in 2, and I'm like, oh my gosh,
right.
I have to play them in the bronze. It's terrible.
Right. Yeah, that's almost not really what you want to hear in that moment.
And that just never happens that way.
Right.
Take this. So if your dog stinks a lot, do a sponge bath.
I'm a tough boy.
Turkey and rice is so spot on right now. Are you about the same? That's weird. Okay, now sing with me.
Oof, me not prepared. So maybe Spice Girl Fish Bowl? I probably won't.
Well, it just shows, I think one theme you'd probably agree with is that I've noticed in the men's doubles game is just since quarantine especially, just seems like there's more depth. I think people are always asking like, well, how high is the game going to go? When are these players going to come in and just dominate? I really don't think that's going to happen. I think as new, high-level racket sport athletes come in, I think it's just going to add to the depth for a little while. I don't see it really breaking the ceiling anytime soon with anyone coming in, but just more and more dangerous teams.
Right. I mean, I know we talk about how like there's studs coming in and stuff like that, but in order for a stud to produce results under pressure in a big moment, it takes some time. I think on the female side, we see females probably break in that top 5 a little sooner than men. I mean, I don't know if you agree with that, but I know that I would. But yeah, the men's side is stacked, the female side is stacked. I mean, the level's only getting better, so kind of cool. But
depth
but yeah, cool to
board.
see Callan and DJ make a breakthrough. It's a really good team. Yeah, I mean, Callan doesn't miss a ball. A great setup guy. He's got that linebacker stance, takes a lot of dinks out of the air. Talk about a guy who's just so physical from the kitchen line. And then DJ, likes to speed up, kind of has a more flashy game, but yeah, definitely a team to be reckoned with, that's for sure.
Yeah, it seems like those teams where they have one guy that's just a rock, just really, really steady, and then the other guy, having a little bit more variation, a few more weapons to hurt you with. Those are, definitely tough to game plan against. You either go with the steadiness or you take your chances with the flash. And when a team like that gets hot, you can see how they can make a deep run.
Yeah, and that's a spitting version of Riley and I. Well, I mean, Riley probably doesn't speed up as much as a DJ, but
I would say it's kind of similar. I mean, I don't know what you think. Kind of similar to when you and Matt Goebbels played together. Matt's going to make more errors, but he's going to be able to have more variation with his attacks as well. So it seems like teams were kind of not really sure who to go with in what scenario when you guys played back in the day.
Right. Female stuff in Newport.
So I didn't play Newport. I'm trying to remember.
I'm trying to
remember results there.
Yeah, I mean, I know the Waters obviously did not play this year.
Right.
So definitely kind of let open the door a little bit for some teams to.
And I'm pretty sure Simone and Lucy played Newport. Didn't Simone and Lucy play together in Newport?
Yeah. I mean,
okay.
as far as I know, they're winning most events.
To home the title in all likelihood.
Yeah. It's a very tough team to beat. Also a very tough team to beat, and I honestly don't think that team will ever get beat. Is Ben and Simone. It's pretty scary. I mean, yes, there has been teams that take a game off them every now and then, but at the end of the day, can you like sufficiently do that for 2 straight games? Good luck. You know.
Yeah, I disagree. I think they'll lose a match. I mean, a tournament to lose twice.
Right.
That's going to be longer for me. To me, I mean, even when you just look at Ben and Matt, not only have you and Riley got the better of them, but I just saw them in Vegas. They lost a match to, I believe it was Eric Lang and Tyler Loong. And my thoughts on the depth just getting better. Just when a team like that just plays a really clean match, I think anybody can have a little stretch where they're off. And I think they lost in 2 as well in that one. Of course, they came back through and ended up taking the title anyways. But it just shows you never know from one match to the other how it's going to go. No,
for sure. And I think too this year didn't Ben and Simone, actually I take that back. Ben and Simone lost at Mesa, didn't they? I thought that they lost in the.
They lost early and then had to come back through.
I think they lost in the winners bracket final.
It must have been Matt and Lucy if they lost.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And then let's see. After Newport, we had what do we have? Chicago.
I believe so. Yeah. So I did play Chicago. Yeah, that was one I jumped on. That was a fun one. Kind of different. I know we had some weather issues. Made singles on the last day a little different. I got there and was kind of injured, so I almost ended up pulling out. I played that one with Rafa, and like I said, almost didn't play, but we ended up going for it, and we actually got a couple of wins, which was kind of nice. And you and Riley had a great run. We had
a nice little run. It was tough, man. It was windy as hell. It was pretty cold. It was at the Nike Sports Complex. I figured the Nike Sports Complex would kind of go with the name, but I was pleasantly surprised, if you know what I mean.
I thought the same thing because I'd heard, I didn't go to Newport. Everybody was raving how great of a venue that was. We're going to Chicago. It says Nike Sports Complex. I definitely had a little bit higher hopes about the venue than after we got it. Really wasn't great for viewing, and I think that's one of the things that's most important to grow our sport. I know at one point I think we had Ben. I know it was singles day and everybody's scrambling, but Ben, number 1 player in the world, was playing like on some middle court that nobody could watch even if they wanted to. And it was a little bit of a step down as far as the venue goes. For sure.
Yeah, for sure. Riley and I had a nice little run, lost to Stone and Ben in the finals. Another little breakthrough that weekend was, Simone and Jesse, I don't know if it was their first time playing together, but Simone and Jesse lost to Irina and Andrea Koop. It was a good little win for Andrea Koop and Irina. Irina's been playing well the last 3 or 4 months. She's definitely picked it up and found her old self. So it's good to see that.
Yeah, it seems like she's had fire lit under her. I think everybody's always talked. I know the first time I watched the pro level and I watched Irina, just her game just stood out. Just all her shot making and the fluidity, and just had a really beautiful looking game. But I think this is the first time that I've been watching where she's been so consistent with her results across the board with women's, mixed, singles, of just playing to her ability, week after week. So it's great to see.
Yeah, no, for sure. After Chicago, we had Atlanta.
Texas next? Atlanta.
We had Atlanta, PPA. Beautiful venue at the Lifetime facility. PPA ran a great event. Connor Pardo and Connor Ogden always definitely outdo themselves, but
they deliver.
It was pretty cool.
They deliver.
they freaking deliver, man. And DJ Pickles always delivers as well. He's always
bringing the high
tunes for you, baby. Yeah, I mean, it had rained the first day. Went indoors. I had actually played at that Lifetime facility 2 years ago. There was a tournament there, and it was like late May or whatever. But yeah, super nice facility. Singles was indoors on Thursday. And then everything else was outdoors for the rest of the weekend. But yeah, love playing at like beautiful, nice tennis facilities like that. You know, they have their court resurfacing company that comes in, resurfaces some courts, makes it look nice and professional. But yeah, as far as playing, yeah, it was a good little tournament for Riley and I. It was actually nice. We've kind of been, you know, having to grind and battle through, and so at Newport we lost early, in Chicago we lost early, so we kind of had to battle our way back through. But in Atlanta it was kind of nice. We ended up taking the good route, made it all the way through. Ben and Matt ended up losing early. They lost to Warnick and Zane Navratil. But
yeah, they had a good run there.
I'm not gonna lie. When you can play a winners bracket final with Ben and Matt in the draw, and you end up playing Zane Affleck and Colin Johns in the winners bracket final, it's not too bad. It's a pretty good day.
Yeah, nothing against them, but
no, nothing against them at all. But
rather play them than Ben and Matt. No, for sure, sure.
But yeah, we ended up playing those guys. They obviously battled their way back through, played them in the finals, and ended up pulling off a tight 3-gamer. So that was a good win for us.
Yeah, and then singles down there was moved to indoors, correct? Singles moved indoors.
Singles moved indoors. Yeah, I think I played. You know, it's one of those days where you take silver and you play 18 to 22 individual games of singles, something of that nature. But yeah, it was a good day. Ended up playing Ben in the finals. I would say that's probably like one of my craziest comebacks. I was down 0-8. Didn't have a whole lot left in the gas tank, and I told myself, I'm like, you know what? If you're gonna lose by going out with swinging on the forehand and just banging the serve. So I put a bit more, you know, bit more effort into the serve, a bit more effort into getting my feet around my you know, backhand so I could find a forehand, and ended up finding some lines. Got back to like 4-8. I think I've told you this story, but we ended up playing a cat and mouse point at like 5-8 or 6-8 in game 3. And previously, any sort of cat and mouse point, afterwards, I was like sucking pond water and I was kind of gassing. Well, at this given time, we played this cat and mouse point, and I had all this energy afterwards, and I had some goosebumps, and it was like a 5th wind. So I kind of used that to get over the hump, and slowly inched my way back in. I think I ended up winning game 3, like 14-12 or something like that. But never say never, baby.
No, it was pretty awesome, and I'll toot your own horn for a little bit here. I mean, I think you gained several fans just in that performance alone, and for pickleball junkies that kind of are watching the history of it, of Ben getting the better of you, you know, the previous couple of times. Obviously, for anybody that's played Ben in any event, you know that he doesn't give a whole lot away. So if you're going to climb out of a hole, you know, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be you doing all the work and not getting a whole lot from him. Right. So to be down that much, I think that you played him in the winners bracket prior, and I think that you also went to 3 games. But if I'm not mistaken, in game 3, he beat you like 11-0, right? So now it's game 3 again. You're down 8-0. I know maybe a mentally not as tough person would be saying, oh crap, here we go again, right? So to dig your heels in and to find it, I think I saw the interview with Ben, you know, right after the game. He was like, well, I didn't get that upset because Tyson was just hitting winners. You know, he didn't feel like he gave it away. You found another level. So I think it was pretty cool just as a sports fan, because obviously we train together, we're friends, but just to see that kind of grit and that belief, and, you know, to care that much about, you know, putting together a good performance. Like I said, I think he gained a lot of fans in that one. It was a pretty cool one to watch.
Yeah. I think it's a little note for the viewers too. Like, you know, I was down 0-8, everything's kind of going against me. And I told myself, hey, just keep competing, keep fighting. There could still be something there. And it's funny how when I put my head down, I didn't focus on the score. I took everything outside of peripheral. I took all that out and just focused on my tunnel vision, just focused on kind of what I was in control of. And that was my side of the court and using my forehand and trying to find as much offense as I could. So it's funny how when you just take out all the nonsense, you focus on what you can't control, you focus on competing, you take away all those little demons, how you can find some of your best stuff, you know?
Yeah, like you said, that's good for anybody to learn how to deal with starting to build up a comeback, right? When you're down, sometimes the nice thing about it is sometimes you don't feel the same amount of pressure. So you feel like you're playing with house money a little bit. You can just play free and see what happens.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and I mean, usually too, when you're down 0-8, all those demons are like barking at you and basically saying just to throw the towel in. You know, there's nothing here. Just throw the towel in.
Right. There's that moment that you were 12 that's replaying in your mind.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
you won't ever be anything.
Yeah, right. Oh, it's too funny. There's always something dark that comes out of it.
We all have a demon or two. We all have a demon or two.
Oh yeah. Okay, so let's see. After Atlanta, went to Texas. PPA event, great event. It was at the Oasis Beach and Tennis Club there in Rockwall. Kyle, you played that event. What'd you think about the venue? What'd you think about the event? And how were your results?
Yeah, I thought it was a really well-run event, and without being able to do Newport or Atlanta, only doing Chicago, and I think they did a pretty good job running Chicago. I just thought the venue was subpar for a tour level event, but Texas did a great job. They brought a lot of energy. They had kind of some covered shaded courts where they played most of the pro matches, so it was great for viewing as well. It was a really fun tournament for me. I think I did decent in singles on the last day. Probably could have gone a round or two more, but I wasn't upset with it. I was able to play with our friend Leah Jansen, who's pretty newer on the tour at the time. Her name has probably been heard quite a few times now because she's really had some good results in the last few tournaments. But this was one of her kind of breakout tournaments, and certainly ours together. We ended up finishing 6th in mixed doubles, which was it was a pretty deep field, and looking back, it was actually the first time I'd even ever entered a mixed doubles tournament that was a bigger size, that wasn't just something that was kind of a regional or state local thing. So obviously she played 80% of the balls. It was classic mixed doubles where she was in that forehand pattern, and I tried to insert myself where I could, but I think we both get along really well. We train together, so it was one of those things where we just felt like we were on the same page the whole day. And when you have that chemistry, I think you've played with a lot of different partners. There's something to be said that chemistry goes so far. I think I would say it even trumps ability a little bit of just feeling like you're on the same page and having fun. Yeah, and I think too, like when you're under pressure and you can trust something. I mean, there's nothing more satisfying to be under pressure or to be in like a situation like that and to have faith or to have trust in your partner. Right. I talk a lot about like trying to switch to a poppier paddle, but for some reason I just can't trust a poppier paddle under pressure. And I just continue to go back to my amp just because it's Old Faithful. It's what I know. I'm comfortable. I've had great matches with that paddle. And at the end of the day, that's what I trust under pressure, Well, for you, I mean, putting a lot of balls in play, making it physical is probably the best way that you know how to put your opponents under pressure constantly, right? So being able to have a paddle that you can go into grind mode and go to battle with is super important. But I think the dynamic between Leah and I worked as well. I've also helped you have as well. We've both kind of helped her as far as like singles coaching and giving her some direction for that. So when we were on the court, it became a situation where she was a fan of me taking kind of the coaching role at times, and I was just a fan of her being very talented and just trusting that she would get the job done in that woman-to-woman pattern that we see so commonly. So a lot of fun. You had some good results down in Texas as well. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna start off by saying it was good. It was good to see you guys make a breakthrough and beat some good teams. You guys, you guys had a nice little breakthrough. You guys beat Catherine J. It was a really tough win. Yeah. We beat Steve Deacon and Christine McGrath. We played Riley and Irina actually pretty tight. We won the first game, and then they ran away with it after that. Actually, the third game was tight. I think it was like 11-7. But they got us. So then we beat Steve and Christine McGrath, and then we beat Adam and Corinne. Yeah. And then we played a good match against Jesse and Warnick. But they got us. They got us in the consolation. Good
good to see the PNW get some more love, baby. It's good to see.
Yeah.
You guys doing well. Love that.
We got to get us on the podium. We got to take it to the next step. But we'll see. We'll see.
Next step, baby. I had a nice little weekend. Played mixed with Callie Smith. Callie's a total beast.
Yes, she is.
It's my first time playing with her. So, we're going to play a couple next year. Riley and I, not going to lie, Riley played, this is a crazy stat, but Riley played an event every weekend from Newport all the way to Texas. I don't know.
Is that true?
Literally, it's like August 10th through like the 1st of October. So I'm not going to lie, just us as a team, we weren't as fresh as we probably should have been. We ended up taking bronze. We had no business beating Deacon and Farias we ended up taking silver. We had silver, beating Deacon and Farias in the bronze. I think we fought off like 6 or 7 match points. It was one of those matches where you just put your head down, and the level wasn't great, but we dug it out and won in an ugly fashion. I think you were. Yeah,
I think Steve may have got a call there. I watched part of that match, not all of it, but Steve got a call for, I don't know, tossing a paddle or something that was a little, I don't know. I thought maybe the ref overstepped a little. I wasn't sure it was a worth a penalty, but definitely some drama made the match a little more fun to watch.
Yeah, I know. I think there was some built up stuff there from Steve. So something that should be mentioned is that so Steve basically took bronze, I think 3 or 4 tournaments in a row, like took bronze in Chicago, lost to Riley and I, him and Deckel did. He took bronze didn't take bronze in Atlanta, sorry. Took bronze in Vegas with Lang. Riley and I beat him, and then took bronze again in Texas, which is the weekend after. So I'm pretty sure there was some stuff stemming from a lot of bronze medals. And I don't think that Steve wanted to lose to us in that particular moment after.
That makes a lot of sense. I think this was after they had maybe some match points that wandered away as well, which that's always a feeling of when you're feeling it slip away, you're going to be extra frustrated. Everybody be frustrated.
Steve, I'm sorry for all the bronze medals, buddies. More than sorry.
I'm sure you feel terrible. I feel terrible.
I feel awful. End of the year tournament, PPA championships. It was a bummer for me. I got pretty ready for a couple weeks, and got mad sick. It was terrible. If I would have done it again, I would have got tested. I woke up Tuesday morning. I got to Vegas like Monday night, woke up Tuesday morning, felt like a train had hit me. I should have went and got tested right then and there. I just thought to try to fight it off. I like tried to get an IV, got a bunch of fluids in me, but woke up Thursday morning and felt like a train had hit me and just had to pull out for the weekend, but tested negative, everybody. So I do not have corona, by the way. And my wife tested negative.
And was that kind of part of your decision making a little bit, as I know you weren't feeling great, but wondering if it was the safety of others, I'm sure, put a factor in.
I mean, it's a tough time to be sick, dude. Like, I had so many people telling me not to go, and everybody is like in my ear, and I mean, it was just, it's a very sensitive time in the world, if you know what I mean.
No, for sure. Well, because we were going to meet because singles.
What's up? Go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say it was singles day, and so we were going to meet and warm up.
Yeah.
And then I was actually going to play you in the second round, which I looked at the draw. I was like, you got to be kidding me.
I'm like, give you a nice little draw.
I'm like, hey, right, yeah. I got one round where I didn't have to play you, which I wasn't too upset about. But everybody was asking me what was going on with you, right? And I wasn't gonna hound you about it. I figured it'd work itself out. But it was funny because everybody was popping me like, well, what happened to Tyson? Like, I honestly don't know. I'm guessing he just isn't feeling good. But it's funny because when you're not there, they definitely expect me to know your schedule like the back of my hand. That's for sure.
That's too funny. Definitely made some people's weekends, that's for sure. But typical results. Ben did his thing. Ben and Matt did their thing, and Dubs lost early, but but it seemed like they slowly just walked through the back draw, and I'm not gonna lie, the finals was pretty short and sweet as well. Lucy Simone won it. Ben Simone and Simone did it in singles. We got 2 Triple Crown winners. Not too shabby.
Give some love. Give some love to Deckel, I think. So I was fortunate enough that you pulled out, that I didn't have to go through you. So I won a couple of rounds. Played Deckel. I actually started off really hot. I was up 9-0 against him, and he chipped away and beat me in 3. But it was a good match. He's a good player, but he ended up taking second. I think he played Ben pretty tight in the final. I think he took a game off of him, maybe a couple of different times.
Good game off of him. Second final too. Yeah.
And then him and Adam were able to get the silver as well. So talk about people who've upped their games, who just maybe plugged some holes and added some weapons. I think Deckel's right at the top of that list when you look at consistency across the board, singles, mixed, men's. He's definitely somebody who's on the rise, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. No, Deckel had a nice little end of the year. He also, something to mention, in Cincinnati, he won singles, he won men's, and I believe he placed in mixed. I don't know if he won mixed, but yeah, nice little end of the year for Mr. Deckel. I like to
Big
call him
D.
Triple deck, man.
One of the nicest guys on tour,
God.
too. For people who haven't met him, one of the absolute nicest guys. Totally gentle giant.
Yeah, definitely a gentle giant. But yeah, I want to give a big shout out to Adam and Deckel. They have taken a lot of, well, they've always been like a match away. I mean, shoot, the last couple of years, they've kind of been right in like that 4 or 5 spot. So they definitely deserve this one. Happy for you guys, and glad you guys got that silver. Would have loved to see you on the gold stand, but I guess way too good by Matt and Ben.
They caught a hungry Matt and Ben, which is
tough
to run in front of that train.
I think Matt and Ben were pretty hungry.
Yeah. But great venue for those of you who weren't able to attend. Like I said, another PPA. I mean, I knew I'd played tennis there at the Darling Center in Vegas, but had a great stadium court, kind of sunken down. My whole family came, so my wife, my kids, even my parents came to watch. It was great for some people who don't watch pickleball very often to see in that light. And so I think that's the direction we want to see the sport going. So anytime that it's a great venue for pros to be able to watch pros, and for spectators to be able to come in and see it at that level, I just think it's so important.
Yeah, no, for sure. Well said. Okay, so next thing here we're going to talk about is TM signature PB camps, different coaching services, stuff like that. Make sure that you guys check out my website. You can go to TysonMcGuffin.com. I have camps listed through the end of this year that you can sign up for on my website. Also, too, on my website, you can take a look at instructional videos, sponsor page, bio, and basically website just kind of paints a picture of my brand as the athlete, dad, and the teacher. Yeah, so a couple of things coming up as far as camps. First one coming up, we have a camp in Marietta, Georgia, and that is November 12th through the 15th. We're running 2 two-day camps back to back. After that, heading to Myrtle Beach, running 2 two-day camps from November 16th to the 19th. And then we're taking a little break, coming back in December, running a week-long camp in Newport Beach at the Newport Beach Tennis Club right after the tournament. And essentially, it's going to be 3 two-day camps, all kind of back-to-back, different levels. And then we're going to piggyback it with a tournament on that Sunday, so kind of fun. And then also, too, last camp of the year. There's a new club in St. Clair Shores, Michigan, which is like right outside of Detroit, and it's called the Wimbledon Racket and Paddle Club. Kind of cool. But yeah, brand new tennis club that just converted over to pickle. They have 8 brand new permanent indoor pickleball courts. So Kyle and I are gonna head over there for the weekend. Kind of fun. Anybody in Michigan, or I guess anybody that wants to come or that's interested, or that lives in that community, on that Friday night from 5 to 7, we're gonna do a Pro-Am, Pro Exhibition Q&A. And kind of have some fun. So if you guys want to show up on that Friday night, check out the event. That is free. And then camp will be Saturday, Sunday. Kind of give you an idea, camp format, or like the way that we are running camps. We are running 2-day camps, 6 hours each day. I kind of feel like that 12-hour, marker for like a 2-day boot camp is more than enough. I feel like after 12 hours, the level doesn't get any better. People aren't learning, and just all in all, I feel like it's tough to pack that much info in 15 hours and to really get the most out of it. So we're doing these little 2-day, 12-hour, packing in 6 hours a day. Also too, we have theme-based classes. So not only do we do 2-day camps, but we also do, we can do 1 to 4-day camps, but they are theme-based classes, so they're 2-hour classes, and these classes range from dinking to volleys to technique to tactics, anything of that nature. So kind of fun. So we have various options. That is all listed on my website. Also, too, it's listed on my social media pages. You can check out my social media pages or check out my new camp page on Instagram. It is Tyson McGuffin Signature PB Camps, and then it is labeled that in Facebook as well. So definitely check out the camp social media page, check out the website. Kyle, what else we got going on?
Well, yeah, let me just talk a little bit about, because I think there's a lot of camp companies out there. I think a lot of people are going to be interested in these camps because they're a fan of you. But I think other than just being a fan, I think it's worthwhile to talk about kind of how we're trying to structure these camps a little bit different than what's out there. I think one thing that's a major difference in our structure, we're actually taking time to customize a private lesson for each camper within the structure. So even if it's only 15 or 20 minutes, Tyson and I have taught a lot. And after a couple of days, we're going to know, as we roam around in the different courts, which people have certain tendencies and what probably their most important thing to add right out of the gate to get to the next level is. So with the structure, it gives us the flexibility to really cater it a little bit to the individual rather than just have it that blanket structure for everyone, which I think is really, really valuable for people, that one-on-one time, which you don't get at a lot of other camps. In addition to that, we're doing the filmed video analysis, which some other camp companies do, but we're going to be identifying your top couple of weakest areas and then sending you some pre-recorded drills and a lesson plan that Tyson and I have already kind of worked on. So what we found is, most of us have the same, when we go to these camps, most people are going to have a lot of similar issues with their game. So we basically created a roadmap for you if you have, this issue with, maybe too much wrist on your dinking, or this issue with speeding up too often, or whatever your tendency is. We're not just going to identify it and tell it to you, but we're actually going to give you access to pre-recorded lessons and drilling and kind of a roadmap to actually fix that in your game going forward. So we're pretty excited to roll that out.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think there's a lot of people out there that are probably taking camps from myself or from Kyle or taken just a generic, 2 to 3 day boot camp. Why I think you should come to us. I feel like as far as knowledge, education, things of that nature, I think both Kyle and I are definitely at the top of the field. And just kind of like what Kyle touched on, we're trying to make this lesson plan level specific, that's geared towards you, that's very that's very personal, that's intimate. But all in all, we want you coming to a camp, having a great time, getting educated, walking away with nuggets, and walking away with that wow factor after the camp. And then also too, not only are we getting touches in the camp, but we're doing the pre-video analysis over dinner, and then we will be sending you a tailor-made, customized instructional video that is kind of based off of your main common tendency in your video analysis. Also too, on day 2, we're doing a little Q&A for an hour and then tacking on that little 15-minute private. So I think, you know, doing 2 to 3 day boot camps, one of the main things that I hear from like a negative standpoint is that people aren't getting enough one-on-one time. It's not that intimate. They're not feeling the touches. They're not feeling important in the camp because maybe there's too many campers, or maybe the pro just isn't spending time with them. So we're going to make sure that you feel comfortable, that you're educated, that you're walking away with the whole pie. And not only are you walking away with the whole pie, but you're going to have an instructional video that's going to help. And then also too, you'll have a 10-page document that kind of goes over the whole camp outline that you can refer to as well.
And I know we talk about it, you know, it being level specific, and you know, we say that a lot, but what that really means is, you know, we've taught camps where we've had 3.0s and 4.5s in the same curriculum. So it's very challenging as a lead instructor to give enough to the, you know, the higher level, the 4.5 player, where they're getting something out of it, but not completely dwarf a beginner player for just information overload and just speaking over their head. So it's so nice to have everybody packed kind of in that similar skill set, because everybody benefits, and you can customize the curriculum for where they're at, and not go too far and not resist challenging people. So it's a really important thing going forward.
No, I think the main thing with taking a camp is that your instructor stays within those parameters and keeps you on the same page, and it's all within your level, right? There's nothing worse than going to a camp and paying $5.99 or $6.99 and having the coach either talk below you or talk over you, and then, you know, here you are in a group discussion, you have no idea what's going on, you know. Anyhow, so make sure you guys like or follow the Tyson McGuffin Signature PB Camps social media page, both on Instagram and on Facebook. Also to take a look at the website, go to tysonmcguffin.com. But anybody who wants to register for a camp can register through my website. So lots of fun stuff happening, baby. Super excited for 2021. We'll have the 2021 camp schedule finalized and posted here probably within like the next week or so. I will publish it on social media. I will also list all 2021 camps on my website. So yeah, lots of fun stuff brewing.
Well, Tyson, if let's just say somebody was watching this and maybe you didn't have a camp coming to their area, but they felt like they could get you know, a group of people that would all be interested in taking it, would you be willing to kind of entertain that? Do they just contact you to set something like that up, or how would that work?
Yeah. Thanks for the plug there, buddy. So if you guys, if anybody is inquiring about a camp in your area, or maybe your pickleball club has enough demand to run a, you know, let's say 16 to 32 person camp, you can email info@tysonmcguffin.com, and I will be sure to respond very promptly. Email info@tysonmcguffin.com. You know, even if you have demand for like a one-day camp, we can kind of build off of that and find some venues or find some demand outside of that area. Again, I want to thank all my sponsors here: Selkirk Sport, Turn a Grip, Voodoo Pain Relief Cream, 1044 Pro, Play Like a Pro, Pickle Play, ASEA, Beamer Therapy, Salt Stick, Vitamin Drip CDA, and Jolt Therapy. So I think that's gonna do it for us today. Kyle, I want to say thank you, sir, and hope you have a good weekend, and I'm sure we'll be back at it playing next week.
Yeah, let's get out training.
Thanks again, and be sure to tune in every Monday. Also, too, we'll be publishing it on Facebook every Monday. It'll also be live on Apple Music, and then also too, it will be published on my website every week as well. So make sure you guys check us out, and thank you. See you, bud.
Thanks for tuning in. Thanks, guys.